All right, all right, all right. This ain't just a show. This is a platform. Veteran built, battle tested. Welcome to the Misfit Nation. Yeah! In a room, built from boots on the ground, now we breaking the rules. 2 vets, 1 leader, painting the sound, turn scars into sermons, let them echo around. Authors with truth, musicians with fire, actors backstage chasing something higher. Entrepreneurs bleeding just to get ahead. If you fought for your dream, yeah, you are what you said. If they told you no, if you still came back, if you fell to your knees but you stayed on track, this is your voice, this is your flame. Say it loud, remember the name. No salvation, just elevation. We rise again. From the fight to the end. We are the Misfit Nation. No damn labels, no damn cages. If you're still breathing, you belong. Turn it up. This is our song. Yeah. This is our song. Yeah. Veterans standing with ghosts in the chest. First responders running in while the world second guess. Gold star names carved deep in the soul. Your story ain't over, we carry the whole. Coaches teaching mindset, breaking the chain, turning barely alive into owning the pain. Truth over polish, scars on display. If it's real, let it bleed, that's the misfit play. If it's heavy right now, and the dark feels cold. If it's heavy right now, and the dark feels cold. If it's heavy right now, and the dark feels cold. It's Aubrey right now, we're the more than you know. Don't walk alone. Veterans press 1, bring it home. Don't trade forever for tonight. You're still needed in this fight. We are the Misfit Nation, built from scars and dedication. We rise again. From the fight to the end. We are the Misfit Nation. Every voice is fabrication. From the silence to the scream, we're strong. Welcome home. You belong.
All right. Welcome back to the Misfit Nation in the Sunday after dinner edition. Tonight we have a good one. Before we get to that, let's first pay homage and pay our respect to those young kids that were taken from us today in Shreveport, Louisiana, in an act of domestic violence. Let those young angels have wings and stay prayers with the rest of their families as they go through this insane day of life and quick changed life due to probably a verbal argument that escalated. And let's keep them in your thoughts and prayers as they go through this hard time. Tonight, we have someone that's seen hard times. So welcome back to the Misfit Nation. Tonight's guest is someone who represents what it truly means to lead from the front and serve others at the highest level. He's a retired CERN First Class, highly decorated United States Army veteran who spent more than 2 decades serving as a healthcare specialist and combat medic. From frontline medical evacuation in combat zones to senior leadership roles across the Army's medical system. He has seen what leadership looks like in both chaos and structure. He served with awesome units like the 101st Airborne Division, deployed multiple times to Iraq and Afghanistan, and led soldiers in environments where decisions had real immediate consequences. His service has been recognized with awards, including the Bronze Star Medal, the Combat Medical Badge, and multiple commendations for leadership and performance. But what makes this conversation powerful is not just what he's done, it's what he's learned along the way, from tactical leadership on the battlefield to strategic leadership in major medical commands. He brings perspective that applies to anyone trying to lead, grow, and make that impact. So today, we're diving into leadership under pressure, resilience, decision making, and what it takes to build a legacy of service. So, without further ado, let's welcome Martin Vandergrift, United States Army veteran, to the Misfit Nation. Welcome, Martinez.
Thank you, Rich. How's everybody doing?
They're doing good. Hopefully, they've got 8 people on the one channel right now. You're here. This is great. We had a good talk in the green room, and we had kind of crossed paths in our careers there. We both obviously had Fort Campbell the same time you were. It was the tail end of my Fort Campbell time. You got here in 98, I left in 99. So we were here about the same time, same dirt we chewed here. We both were in both sandboxes. So tell us a little bit more about you, Martinez, from as far back as you want to go to how we got here today.
Oh man, no, I don't want to go too far back. Just back, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Truly come from humble beginnings. Rich, from Troy, Alabama. Came from a loving household, grandmother, and man, the village, aunts, uncles, mom, siblings, neighbors. Back then in the 80s, everybody got a piece of you when you messed up, right?
Right.
So, just humble beginnings. The Army was probably the one thing that I wanted to do. I had a legacy of it with my family, from grandparents to aunts, uncles. One of my brothers did it. So, to me, it was a way out. I didn't have nothing going. I'm not gonna say I didn't have much going. I didn't have anything going for me. There were no colleges looking at me for academics or anything to that extent. So the Army was the way for me to go. It was my way out to make something of myself, to be able to learn and build on life experiences, and to get to where I am today. Basically, the Army was that blueprint. It was my foundation for me and my family to where we are today.
It's definitely, you hit the word right away, the village, your tribe. Yeah, we all, especially 70s, 80s kids, we had those villages. We had those people, like you said, that would correct us when we were wrong, no matter what. They were there. If mom and dad were at work, our other moms and dads, they were there to make sure that we understood what we did wrong. And that kind of shaped you. I know it shaped me. I know it shaped you as well. So let's dig a little deeper into Troy, and then what led you to the Army of all the services.
Troy it's a small college city. It used to be Troy State University. Now it's just Troy University. One high school, because there not that many of us there. It does have that small town college feel, but not like some other small town colleges. To say the least, the Army, I couldn't see myself doing anything else. I don't know. I had an uncle, or have an uncle, who retired from the Air Force, and one of his brothers, he retired from the Army as a sergeant major. I don't know. I just didn't see myself going into any other branch of service. So the Army was it for me.
And you had that legacy of service, like you said, your uncles, your grandfather, everyone that served, and they've kind of paved that path for you. Were they all in different jobs in the military, and then you decided on medical, or one of them was actual combat medic as well?
Oh no, they were 11 Bravos. They were artillerymen. I mean, nobody was in the medical field. I decided it was either artillery or medical, and I didn't want to be deaf by the time I was 27, 28. So I said, I'll take medical for 1,000 there. Sergeant First Class Tucker, I'll take that.
Definitely, you don't want to be the one making the injuries. You want to be the one that's healing them at that point.
Yeah. And I'm a people person, man. People are my passion. I didn't see me making an impact as an artilleryman. Where could I make an impact the most? And I can honestly say it was definitely in the medical field, was where I think I made the most impact, and left something behind for people to emulate and just to think about, and for me, and I'm sure it's for you, I still get phone calls and text messages to this day from soldiers that are still in and soldiers that are no longer in, hey, still calling me, Sergeant V, hey, I need to talk to you. I need some advice. I had one soldier who actually flew up from Dallas
Wow.
about 2 weekends ago to here. He told me he was coming, but the morning of, he goes, hey, my flight lands at 5:20. Can you pick me up? I said, I got you. So he stayed here. He got here Saturday. He flew out 9:00 the next morning, going back to Dallas. He says, I just need to come talk to you, pick your brain. And he's a huge guy on TikTok. So we did some TikTok lives for his people, his followers. And, we talked about mental resilience. We talked about relationships. We talked about intentional parenting. And we discussed leadership. And it was several topics that we talked about that I think we are not passing along to our kids, to the next generation coming up, whether it's our children in the classroom with students still in the service, regardless of what service you're in. I think there's a lot of things that we forgot along the way, and we're not passing it down like we should.
Definitely. I think we both witnessed this, the 20 years of GWAT, that you can see the change in the military within that 20-year period from the time you came in, or from 98 to 03, you were at Campbell. And then the time after that, while everyone was at combat, constantly at combat, there's a lot of stuff getting lost in the cracks. And a lot of that stuff was mentorship. And a lot of mentorship kind of faded away. And it took guys and gals like yourself and the guys and gals I served with to try to keep that going. But there's only so long we'll be around. And if we don't make that difference while we're in, it's going to keep fading away. And it's going to take us as the retirees to come back and maybe give those speeches to them, get in front of those formations and say, look, this is what y'all need to do to make this the best thing in your life. And sometimes that's a kick in the teeth or a kick in the chest for the leadership that's there. But sometimes that's what they need.
I'm on with you 100%. I think a different perspective, right? Because they have those leaders that are in the formations or in front of the formations with them. And what was the thing you said when we were in that formation? Man, they don't know what they're talking about.
Exactly.
They're just talking to hear themselves talk, right? But if you bring in somebody with a different perspective that's been there and that's done it, and we can write a book about it, right. It's stuff like that that will leave a huge impact on the younger generation. I tell my students all the time, I'm pretty sure they get tired of hearing it. I've been 15, 16, 17, 18. You never been 46.
Right.
So you can't tell me how to live a life of meaning when yours is just beginning. Listen to what we're telling you, because believe it or not, we're trying to give you the keys to the car and the answers to the test. But some of them don't want it because they think they know better and they think they know more, and they just keep doing what they've always done. And that's why they're not succeeding or they're not moving forward, because they keep doing the same thing they did in the past.
Oh, definitely. And being in the position you're in with JROTC, you see a lot of attitudes. You see a lot of different upbringings coming into you. So you got the kids that are growing up watching TikTok, and that's telling them how to be a person. And you have to kind of shape them and tell them, hey, that's a portion of life now. We understand that, but there's life outside of that box. There's life outside the whole little 3 inches up. If you look up every day, you'll see a whole other world. And you have to be able to talk to people. You have to be able to have interhuman communication and love people and not just a box, because you don't know who you're talking to on those boxes.
No, they don't. And I've trying to coin the phrase. I always tell them, y'all have social media brain.
Yes.
Because you're not talking to people outside or off your phones. You're either texting them or you're direct messaging them or you are doing Snapchats. Like, come on, man. What happened to opening your mouth and actually talking to people? And not just talking to communicate, but try talking to connect. Because if you're talking just to talk, you're not connecting with the person you're speaking with. And
Right.
what you're saying is basically going in one ear and out the other. And no one is picking up what you're putting down and they're not understanding what you're talking about, because you all speak one language. Was it GIFs, however you say the word,
Yes.
memes? That's all y'all talk. No one uses that thing God gave us called vocal cords where sound come out and words matter. They're not doing it.
All aspects of the brain housing unit up here. They're using
Yes.
that screen tells them, and sadly, it's not their fault. It's their upbringing. A lot of them were babysat by a tablet, babysat by a phone, while their
Yeah.
parents worked or just didn't have no time for them, and that has shaped who they are now, and they are that box. And it's sad that we see this, but it's up to people again like us the older guys to, hey, put your phone down, let's just talk, let's have this crazy thing called a conversation, let's see how this goes without using any acronyms or any like gifs or whatever. And or we could talk outside of the meme and be an actual
Yeah.
human, have that interhuman communications. And those are the things that I think as a whole society we have lost, and COVID didn't help it at all. And now
No.
the way the internet now is just a way to poke the bear, and that's all it does now.
Yeah. Taking away textbooks and giving these kids computers to do schoolwork was the worst decision ever. Because they don't know, put it like this, they don't know how to open up a damn textbook.
Right. Or look for something.
Or look for something. They don't know what we had to look for it, tab it, make sure it was where you thought it was at. So that's why you tabbed it or you highlighted it. Man, they couldn't tell you what a highlighter looked like.
Right.
They'd be like, oh, that's a marker. No, that's a highlighter.
Yeah,
It's amazing. It's amazing. And the things that I see in where I'm at teaching, I'm gonna give you a story. This just happened last week without mentioning names. Had a kid come in the classroom. As soon as he sat down, he just started just head bobbing,
Oh, man.
head bobbing. Eyes were bloodshot red. And I said, hey, man, I'm not doing this with you today. I said, so either you sleepy or you high. I said, but I'm going to take the latter because I can tell. So grab your stuff. Let's go to the office. And, worst case scenario, he was. And this wasn't even 8 o'clock in the morning. It's concerning that you see these things in these high schools. Cause I'm sure it's not just at where I work. I'm sure it's in other schools across the country. And like we was talking earlier, they can't get off their phones. It's like my mom texting me, well, your mom wrong and you wrong because they know it's a state law now. You can't be on your phone in class. They got the emails, they have the text messages, they got the letters in the mail at the end of last school year with this state law coming into effect this year. So they know. Yeah. So I don't want to hear that.
It's just an excuse now. And the fact that most of them don't get off it, the ones that don't get off it at night is because they have this weird fear that if they miss something during the night, they're not going to be cool in the morning. It's sad.
There was a kid that almost bumped into me one day because she had her head down on her phone.
Yep.
And when she looked up, she was like, oh, I didn't see you, Sergeant V. And I stopped her. I said, may I ask you a question? She goes, yeah. I said, did anything change on your timeline from 6 o'clock this morning to right now? She said, no. I said, well, hey, look up when you're walking because you're going to run into a wall or you're going to get hit by a car in the parking lot because you're not paying attention to what you're doing.
Or it's not going to be Sergeant B that comes at you. It's going to be someone you don't know. And they're not going to be as nice as I was.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's wild.
And you get to see it. You're on the front lines there with the youth of America in the high school.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a whole other world now.
Oh yeah. Would I want any of these kids in the military? No.
No. I understand that, because you can see. I mean, you've seen what can happen to kids like that in the military.
Oh
and
yeah.
what they will cause to their brothers and sisters in the military as well. And
They'll do more harm than good.
that's the third order effect we don't ever want to see again.
No. No.
See, Jake, my partner at work, he just said, "Hell, we see it with the soldiers we train." There you go.
It's different out here. It's totally different.
Hopefully, somewhere down the line, there's another orbital shift, and everyone starts to understand what they need to do to be right. And
something in the universe will come out of the air and be like, "Hey, we need to wake these people up."
Maybe Artemis 3 will hit something in space and knock everything back online, and they'll come back. Did we do it?
We get hit with some cosmic dust, and it all just changes everything.
Yeah, the cosmic dust coming back. That and space rocks.
Yeah, all of it.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about your time when you were in combat. You were in Iraq, you were in Afghanistan. What was your most challenging part as a leader in both of those battlefields?
Trying to keep soldiers not motivated, but trying to keep them in the right headspace and timing was one of them. I mean, and not just soldiers, but also peers, and sometimes myself. You know, when I had to take a deep look in the mirror and like, hey, what are you doing? What are you thinking? Like, you know, you don't have to prove anything to anybody. You're not Superman. So stop going out trying to volunteer to go out the gate all the time. But you know, by the time I had that conversation with myself, it's too late. I went out the gate, did what we had to do, and come back. Like, hey, what are you doing?
How many times possibly volunteer?
Yeah, it's like, man, and you know, it got to the point when I was there in 05, 06, I was on Falcon in Baghdad, right? And a naval EOD team were asking, they needed medics. So of course they came to us, the support battalion. Hey, can we get volunteers? And this is what we need. This is what we're looking for. You know, rank. You know, this is what we need. We need 1 NCO, 4 soldiers. Nobody will volunteer for my unit. And I just raised my hand up and, excuse my language, I said, "Fuck it, First Sergeant, I'll go. I'll do it. Nobody else want to do it. I'll do it." You know, that at that time, I was, man, I had been married for like 3-4 months.
Oh man.
And I had my son was maybe 10 months.
Wow. You're still putting it on.
So yeah, I'm still like, man, you know what? She good. I got insurance. She'll be all right.
There you go.
That was my frame of thought.
Yep.
I was young. I ain't know no better.
You weren't alone in that one.
You know, we've done crazy stuff without thinking. It was like, you know what? I'll pay for it later.
Definitely.
You know.
Jake in the chat wants to know if you were there when the ASP blew up, and he said he ran with that Navy EOD team for about a month.
Wait a minute. On Falcon?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. That night we were walking to the DFAC when we got AHA got mortared. Man, yeah. We had to stay. I want to say they made us stay in those buildings for 3 to 4 days until they brought in a different EOD team from somewhere else, about 6 teams to clear that whole fob.
Wow. Jake brought that up when you were talking about it there. Yeah, he said that was wild.
I was there.
That was wild.
Yeah. Oh man, come on, Jake. You gotta come on here one day, Jake, or we gotta do something, man.
He's our Tuesday host. So he's
your Tuesday host.
And he said he just has another question in there. Do you still see any patriotism with the kids nowadays, or is that about dead?
Jake is dead, my man. Is dead. Every third hour class period, when we start the new class, third hour, we had to do the Pledge of Allegiance, but prior to the school doing their announcements, man, Friday, I had to yell. I said, y'all don't get y'all ass up. We got to do the Pledge of Allegiance. What y'all doing?
Man.
Wow. No, there's no patriotism. Some of them, yes, but not all of them. I think a lot of them, they're lost. These kids these days are lost, and the ones that aren't, they have a hard time trying to reel in those that are. It's just one of those things. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
I was going to say if they promote it, then they're called the devil probably, or if they don't.
Yeah, they're called all kinds of stuff these days. I mean, the language these kids speak, I'm lost in the conversation.
Yes. It's weird. Believe me.
Oh, it's definitely weird. It's definitely weird.
We got a question from the audience now too. This is from the rest of the audience, not just Jake. This is from at Kelly Franchell. Martinez, what was the most challenging moment you faced as a combat medic in a deployed environment? Thank you, Kelly.
The most challenging moment was going to the scene where I want to say about 8 to 12 of guys in my unit were blown up by a grenade. And being a block over, we heard the explosion. So the squad I was in, we immediately, got on the radio, got comms to find out where it was at. And we ran over there because we were on foot patrol. We ran over, and to see our comrades down on the ground injured, was not a good sight. And trying to, without thinking, all your instincts kick in.
Right.
Your medical knowledge kicks in. What you need to do right now in the moment to ensure that no one loses their life on the battlefield. It was a bad time. I think I dealt with it for years. And sometimes, like today, before we came on air, one of the guys who did pass away, I'm friends with his brother on Facebook, and he posted a picture of his brother and his grave site, and it kind of brought back those well of emotions. And I sat here for a minute and thought about him and just thank God that he's in a better place. He's not suffering, and he paid the ultimate sacrifice, because that day he saved a lot of his friends that day, because he was the one that jumped on the grenade before it detonated. So yeah, it's wild you asked that question, because I had just seen that not even 20 minutes before we came on air. Yeah, that was one of the most challenging moments for me, and having those memories that they never go away.
And I'm sure as a leader in combat medicine, getting your younger medics to understand that they can't save everyone, that has to be a hard challenge as well.
It is. It's having them to realize that you have to do the best you can with what you have when you have it.
That's right.
And never think that anything is your fault, because it's not your fault. As long as if you done what you could and you got them to that next higher echelon of care, it's out of your hands after that point. You just have to wander until you get word back, or if someone knows them, comes let you know, okay, they're good to go, or they didn't make it. So it's those thoughts like that they go through your mind, and you're like, man, I hope I did the right thing.
Right. Definitely. And I mean, like you referenced this a little bit ago, you got to rely on that training. And sometimes you go into that autopilot mode, especially with your job. You can see the big picture, but you have to look at the picture right in front of you. You got to get that tunnel vision on one patient at a time and check them each person. And see what you could do for this one, or can that one wait and get to the next guy or girl who needs help? And you have to go through that Rolodex in your head and spin all the knowledge that you have been pumped into your head from the time you went to AIT through the train ups and all that stuff you do as leadership. Which part of that's going to work at that time, and it just starts going. It starts working.
Yeah, it's like when you on the range qualifying, when you're zeroing your weapon. Is my shot group tight?
Yeah.
You know, is it where it needs to be? And that goes the same way with medicine. When you're on the battlefield, okay, did I do my ABCs? You know, and now it's changed. Now it's, you know, it's that circulation, the breathing. You know, you got to make sure if they're hemorrhaging, hey, I got to get that bleed to stop first. Once I get that bleed to stop, hey, we're gonna move on to the next steps and make sure they're good to go. Airway, you know, make sure they're good. You know, it's medicine is something that constantly evolves. And I'm not saying it evolves by the year. It evolves by the minute, by the day, you know, sometimes by the hour. It's constantly changing for the better.
Definitely. And that technology has really helped it a lot too.
Yes.
I used to think when people say medical technology, so what's the technology involved in? And then you see it in action. You see what doctors at a forward operating base can do. And just while they're doing it, they can video chat someone in and say, hey, if you were here, what would you be doing right now? What would your advice be to me right now? And that's saving our brothers and sisters' lives even more now. And beyond the medicine side of it, the actual aspect of the treatment is amazing.
Yeah, and the thing with being on the front line, you don't have an X-ray machine, you don't have a CT machine, you don't have an MRI. So everything you do is off of what you see, what you can hear, and what you can touch. That's it. And the last part is what they can tell you, if they can tell you anything, because they're in shock. So they're screaming. You know, they're like, hey, it hurts here or it hurts there. And you just gotta put your hands on it, focus on it, and do the best you can.
Definitely. And your best sometimes it may not be what's the best that they need, but it's all you can give. And putting that into that young medic's head, hey, you gave everything you got today. You can't do everything for everyone, but you did everything you could do today. Now it's
you did everything you could
tomorrow.
Yep, you did everything you could in the moment. Yeah. Be happy with that and move forward. Don't dwell on it, and definitely don't keep it in the back of your mind, because it's not going to go anywhere, because you're going to keep thinking on it, and it's just going to make you stress, and it's going to make you worse. Because next time, if it happens again, you're going to second guess yourself.
Definitely. And Misfit Nation, if you're just joining us now, I'm on with United States Army veteran Martinez Vandergrift out of the greater Kansas City area right now, retired out of IAC at Fort Riley, Kansas.
Yes.
I spent a lot of my time, and he finished his time there, and now he's still melding the minds of the young hopefuls of the JROTC. And you also have a degree in Homeland Security Emergency Management, is that right?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
So are you looking to move away from the JROTC and get into doing that job in Kansas City as well?
Man, listen, it's been a journey since I retired. This is sad to say, my third job since I retired. I started out working for 2 hospitals here as the regional manager for emergency preparedness. I did that job for a year and a half. And then I moved on to public health. I did that for a year, and I moved on now to high school JROTC, because I wanted to see where I could do the most good and have the most impact, positive impact. And I know for a fact right now, it's where I'm at. It's in the classroom with the students. We did our military ball earlier in March, and there's 3 high schools in my district, so we combined and did a military ball with all 3 high school JROTC programs. And my wife that night when we was coming home, she mentioned, she said, some of the moms who were chaperoning was like, hey, is he coming back next year? And her answer, as usual, he better, you know, because that's his third job since he retired, and he's only been retired for about 4 years. So, and she asked why, and she says, the kids love him. He talks to them the way they talk to him, and they have a lot of respect for him because he doesn't sugarcoat anything, and he's very honest and upfront with them, and that's what they need outside of the house, outside of home. They need somebody that's not going to sugarcoat it, and he does not let them get away with anything. And I don't, you know, I hold my kids to the same standard that I held my soldiers. And the one thing I think they're learning is I talk to them like I talk to my kids, my 2 kids that I have, you know, and my daughter, while she was on spring break, she went with me to work on Friday and stayed all day. And she told him, she goes, he talked to y'all the way he talked to me and my brother. She goes, my brother, 21, he's in the Air Force now, and he still talked to him like that. And she told him, so she goes, whatever he tell y'all, she says, take it for what it's worth, because he's telling you the right thing. It was like, just listen and pay attention, because he's not gonna lie to you, and he is gonna. And I was surprised that she would say that. She goes, is he corny? Yeah, my dad's corny. She was like, but at the same time, he's gonna give it to you unfiltered, and you just have to take it for what it's worth.
Definitely.
You know.
And it's not just that you play it, give it to them straight. You're there for them. You're actually there, and you listen to them. And that's something they may not get at home, because maybe a lot of, most families now are working a lot. Mom and dad might not be at the house working, and the kid comes home, goes to school, and they may not see him. And you're that one adult that listens to them on a daily basis. So you're that pillar of light for them now as they go through these changes in life. And you might be the catalyst that puts them into either corporate America, college, or the military.
Yeah, I have one student. Every day it was something different with her. One day she's up, one day she's down, one day she's like all over the place. So I told her, hey, I'm gonna give you a notebook. I ended up giving her 3.
Wow.
I said, anytime when you feel like your world is upside down, use this notebook to say my fears. Anytime your life is up, use the one called my happiness. And I said, I want you to put your thoughts in both notebooks. You can share it with your parents. You can share it with your therapist. You can share it with me if you want to. I was like, but I want you to put your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions on paper. Because what you won't tell an adult, at least you wrote it down and you got it out of your system. And she does that. Like maybe at one point for a whole week, every day, she brought me a different letter, folded. And she would walk by and like give me a high five and put a piece of paper in my hand.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, I got it. I said, I got to somebody. Somebody's understanding it.
Right.
Somebody's picking up what I'm putting down. You know, and she had her struggles to where she had to do a week-long stint in a facility here about a couple weeks ago. But she's back in the classroom now. She's happier. And I ask her every day, hey, you good? She's like, yeah, I'm good. Everything at home good? She's like, yeah, so far so good. I said, are we listening? She goes, yeah. Are you arguing? No. I said, she took your phone, didn't she? She was like, yeah. And when they give it back, they shut everything off. So I can't do nothing but call my mom, my dad, or 911. I said, smart choice.
Yep.
I said, because your phone is what got you in trouble. Your attitude got you in trouble. I said, and the fact that your younger brother was starting to follow in your footsteps, it got you in trouble. She was like, well, you told me that. You told me he was watching me and he was going to do whatever he saw me doing. I said, yeah, because you sissy. You the big sister.
Yep.
You can't do that in front of him and think he's not going to do the same thing. That's not fair to him, because now you're causing your parents more heartache, more pain, more anguish, more trouble. And now you just drug your 9-year-old brother into it. I know, Sergeant V. I'm sorry. Don't apologize to me. Go apologize to them.
Yeah.
So it's all about how we speak to them. I mean, in the beginning of the school year, because this is my first year, I was yelling, I was screaming at them. But then something hit me. It was like, those kids get yelled at enough at home. How about you meet them where they are with a little bit of peace, some grace, and some empathy, and see where that'll get you. And now it's like, even kids that's not in JROTC come up to me and ask me for advice, or come up to me and want to have a conversation about issues they're having either in school or at home, or, hey, Sergeant V, I got a job interview. What should I wear? What should I do? How should I talk?
Nice.
I'm like, okay, I got you. Let's talk about it.
Definitely.
It's amazing.
That's outstanding. And we say something here on the show a lot. If for every show we do, we reach one person every show, reach one, teach one. And that's
definitely.
And for you, she's your success right now. She's the one you've reached her, but there's others outside of her that you've reached that you might not know yet, but maybe next year they'll come back and say, hey, Sergeant V, thank you. And you won't even know why. You won't know what you did because you compartmentalize everything, but they will.
Yeah.
Stay with them forever.
I'm working on one now, man. He's like that thorn, but he doesn't get it, but I think he will here sooner rather than later, because what he thought was out there for him is not good.
Oh, wow. And then a couple questions from the audience came in. This one kind of hits with just what you were just talking about with your leadership. From Slam Now, he said, how did your leadership style evolve over your 20-plus year career? You just said how it evolved when you started this job. How did it evolve over the 20 years?
It evolved by seeing, because believe it or not, in the Army, you have good leaders and you have bad leaders. So what I did in my 20-year career was I took a little bit from the good and I took a little bit from the bad. And what I did with that was I tweaked them and I made it my own. We talk about, that question is, are leaders born or are they made? Right. I think you could go both ways, either one, whatever your perspective is. But the best leader are the ones that followed first. And they took something from everyone and made it their own style. So over time, I got to the point as I got older in the military, and I just got to the point where, you know what? I'm not yelling at these soldiers anymore. I'm not gonna make you do push-ups. You know what we're gonna do? We're going to come in my office. We're gonna close the door. We're gonna have a conversation. It's gonna be peaceful. It's gonna be direct, and it's gonna be firm. And then depending on what you did, we'll go from there with, do you get an Article 15? Do I just give you this negative counseling? Or do we just leave it at this conversation and be done with it after that? As long as we can come in there and agree to disagree, and we have the conversation, that's all that mattered to me. I was never looking to really try to punish anybody, because guess what? The same way I'm saving you, when you get in my seat, I need you to reach back, grab somebody, and pull them up to where you are. Don't keep all this knowledge and information to yourself. And when I was coming up in the early 90s in the military, leaders kept information to themselves. They didn't share it. They kept it. So a lot of this stuff you had to learn by looking or listening and or going through it yourself. Because I mean, I had a first sergeant. I was getting my first Article 15 as a specialist. The day before, he was like, hey, come here. Brought me in, sat me down. When you go in front of the battalion commander tomorrow, this is what I want you to say. I want you to use this. You do that, you're going to walk away with nothing happening to you. And I said, are you sure? He was like, yeah, do what I tell you. Went in there, did what he told me to do. You know how they tell you to go out of the room while they sit there and talk about it and discuss it?
Mm-hmm.
I was out there for about 15, 20 minutes, but I was still sweating. They came out, he got me, go back in there. Battalion commander say his words, say his little piece. And, you know, I salute, I leave. I'm like, okay, what the hell just happened? Sergeant Major pulled me in. He says, hey, your first sergeant saved your ass because you did what he told you to do. So he took all the paperwork and ripped it up. He was like, put it in the trash. He was like, stop being fucking stupid. Do the right thing. And if you ever get a soldier to get in this situation, remember what happened today and help another soldier out. Not a problem. Too easy.
And that lesson, now it'll go like a domino.
Yeah, exactly.
And you brought it to your those you led, and now that hopefully they're doing the same thing to those they're leading.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that's how it's supposed to be. Next one is from Put Me In Now. What separates good leaders from great leaders in high pressure situations? Thank you, Put Me In.
What separates good leaders from great leaders in high pressure situations? The way you approach it, the way you think about it. If you get into a high pressure situation and you react without thinking or without discussing, that's when people get hurt. That's when people get killed. But if you can get in that high pressure situation and think about what you're about to do before you do it and talk to somebody before you do it. Remember that scene, I don't know if you ever seen We Were Soldiers, when before Mel Gibson called in that broken arrow, what did he do? He stopped. He thought about it. He looked around to see how the situation was. And at that point, he looked at his sergeant major, and all that sergeant major did was nod. He knew then what he had to do. So you have to think about it and assess the situation. There's a lot of times where we get into high pressure situations. We don't think. We just react. And when we react, sometimes the decision we make, it's the wrong decision. And it either causes us irreparable harm or to somebody else. So we always have to be able to stop, think, and then move forward. Make a decision and go with it. And don't second guess yourself. Don't be like, oh man, am I making the right decision? Go with the decision that your gut is telling you to go with. And you won't go wrong. As long as you sticking to your guns and you following your gut and your instinct, I think you're gonna be okay.
Definitely. I think that hits the nail on the head with the chaos of leadership in chaos. And when you don't have a lot of time to think. You have 30 seconds maybe to make a decision, and those 30 seconds better count when you make a decision. And you have to do it, and your decision is going to save those around you and probably bring everyone home. So you have to do everything that's up here that's in your gut, like you said. Your gut reaction, use that Gibbs gut like NCIS, and what your gut tells you is right.
That's it. What does your gut tell you? You know, like McGruff the crime dog. What do you smell?
What do you smell?
What do you smell?
McGruff the crime dog. Kids, if you heard that, you have to look that one up.
Yeah, you gotta look that one up. That's old.
I don't even know if he's allowed to be shown anymore.
I don't either. Him in that brown overcoat.
Yeah, the brown overcoat, yes. This one is from Windy Head Syndrome. What lessons from the battlefield apply directly to leadership in everyday life? A lot of leadership questions.
Man, Ooh, that's a good question. So here's the thing. Just because you're sitting in a leadership position does not make you a leader. There are people sitting in leadership positions that couldn't lead their way out of a wet paper bag. Okay. And I'm gonna say that because after retiring, I was in private sector, corporate America, whatever you want to call it. And there are people who were in charge, but they weren't real leaders. They were more so micromanagers and bosses. If you ever get to point to where you think that the people in the organization work for you, you in the wrong profession.
Yep.
Because you actually work for the people in the organization. It doesn't matter if you're in the military, if you're in the private sector, if you own your own business, you work for those that work underneath you. Those that you are charged to be the lead for, it's on you. And they can tell when you don't know what you're talking about. They can tell when you messing up, and they can tell when you trying to micromanage them. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I hate being micromanaged. Don't micromanage me, because I've been doing this leadership thing for a hot minute. There's nothing you can tell me that I don't already know or I haven't already seen.
Right.
But what I did see was a lot of authority figures. That's what I'm gonna call them. They were sitting in seats of position and thinking that they were bigger than the position. And it either caused people to leave the organization, or it caused people to not want to be around that person when they walked in the room or when they walked within an earshot of them. They didn't want to be around them because they already knew probably as soon as they opened their mouth, some BS was about to come out and nobody wanted to hear it. Nobody had time for it.
Right.
So if you're in a leadership position, know that you are there for the people in the organization. Like when I was a platoon sergeant, I would say this all the time. I'm not the platoon sergeant. I'm the platoon's sergeant, meaning I work for you. I'm here for you. You're not here for me. Okay. I'm here for you. What do you need? You know, and that was the thing when I first got to the hospital at Fort Riley. They put me in charge of a section called surgical service line or lane. And I walked into the shop and the first thing I asked, what can I do for you? What is it that you've asked for the most and you never got it? Or what is something you need that you've asked for? Again, you never got it. They told you it was coming and you never saw it happen. I took notes, and at my retirement ceremony, that was one of the things that the doctor, she put, you know, she's now a major, put in her speech. She said, when he came in, he asked, what is it that you need? And she said, a magical thing happened. And she goes, he made it happen. He didn't ask no questions. He said, okay, I got you. And she said, within 2 weeks of me asking that question, everything I asked for, I had it. She goes, I don't know what he did, who he spoke to. She was like, but I had everything I asked for. And she goes, and it made my department 10 times better than what it was.
Nice.
So it's about, again, working for the people that you're charged to be, you know, the lead for. Not for you. It wasn't for me. I'm gonna straight up tell you, I didn't care about my NCOERs. I was like, hey, look, it'll write itself. You know, and I wish a lot more people that were coming up with me knew that. and understood that for themselves, because you could tell who those yes men were. You could tell, as we called them, those ass kissers. You knew who they were about how they acted, and I wasn't that guy. I wasn't going to have lunch with my sergeant major or, whatever, my battalion or brigade sergeant major. I have soldiers that I need to take care of. I have a mission that we have to do. So I'm going to do that. Y'all go up there and, sniff ass or whatever y'all do. I don't do that.
Yeah. Get up in there. Get up in there.
Yeah, get up in that. I don't do that. And that was the one thing I learned from reading, God rest his soul, former Secretary of State and retired General Colin Powell, in his book, My American Journey, where he said, a yes man is a menace, but a man that speaks his mind is an asset. Right. If you don't want the truth from me, don't ask me. If you want me to tell you what you already thinking, you're asking the wrong man. Because again, I'm going to give it to you truthfully. It's going to be unfiltered, and it's probably going to be a little dirty, like a martini. You take it how you want it.
That's right. And Colin Powell's a great leader to reference. He's someone that I wish I had got to sit down and talk to, maybe had a coffee with, maybe broke bread with, just pick his brain. Because he's a smart man, and wow, what a leader. He took care of his men from Vietnam all the way through our era. He was still leading. And great man, great leader, and he's still watching us now from above, and he's doing his thing up there. Hopefully he's leading people, because I know he went up, he didn't go down.
He went up, he didn't go down.
Yeah, he's doing great things, and I always reference him whenever I go on a podcast and someone asks me who's 3 people you look up to. He's always in my top 3 every time.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's always him. But that's a great reference for him. And the last question that came in from the audience also asked, you just answered this, but I'll put it up anyway. It's from Grow to You. What advice would you give to young leaders just starting their journey? And I think you just hit this nail on the head.
It's learn from your good leaders, learn from your bad leaders, take it, and throw out what you don't like. Keep what you like, keep it in your toolkit, because you never know, one day it may come in handy. Another thing I'll tell you is look at your leaders at the top and look at how they're acting. Look at how they're responding. Look at what they're doing for those that they are charged to lead and see if that's the type of leader you want to be, if that's who you want to emulate. And take it and do it. And remember that you're going to make mistakes. We all did. We all still do. Every decision is not going to be the best decision. But what you have to do at the end of the day is make a decision, period. And go with it. But learn from the good leaders, learn from the bad leaders, and make it your own.
Definitely. Outstanding. Great advice there, Martinez. And as an hour has flown by with just two old soldiers talking to each other for an hour here. This is outstanding. And knowing that we chewed the same dirt, we've been around the same places. We both know a great medic that became a sergeant major.
Yeah.
Human being. You were both young medics together. I met her midway through her career. So it's outstanding that we both know Rocio Picasari, and a great friend of both of ours.
Yeah.
It's been great chatting with you, but I have to ask you 2 questions before we go. And the first one is, what's the best way for the Misfit Nation to get in contact with you? Say, hey, they want you on their show, or they want to just sit and pick your brain.
The best way to get in contact with me is my Facebook page, which is Straight with No Chaser Podcast, and my Instagram page, which is also Straight with No Chaser Podcast. The Instagram page is a picture of me with a gray beard and glasses. It looks like it's AI generated. It's a picture I took, but I put it through AI to make it look cartoonish. So that's me. If you see it, the other one that's talking about something else that I saw today, that's not me.
All right. Make sure it's not the other one.
Yeah.
The picture I found of him was off his Facebook page. There's two different pictures. One says looking for work, one just without that emblem on there. I took that picture. I stole it and put it on there. He agreed with it, so it was good.
Yeah.
Martinez, my last question for you, and it's from the Misfit Nation, the audience. What's 3 things they can start doing tomorrow to be better people?
Man, 3 things they can start doing tomorrow to be better people. Number 1, don't lose yourself in other people. That's first and foremost. Don't lose yourself in other people. Number 2, make sure you take time for you and your family. Don't burn out. Take time for you and your family. Okay. And number 3, whatever religion, whatever faith you believe in, stick with it. Pray every day, meditate, and grow. Those are the 3 things. The third thing is really number 1. And then you can put the other 2 in order from there. Do those things, man, and I think you're gonna be okay. One thing that we forget as people is knowing our worth. And once you know your worth, there's nothing that can stop you. No one can stop you.
Outstanding. Those are 3 great things, Misfit Nation. Take time for you and your family. Have that faith. I don't care who you believe in, but believe in something bigger than you. That's all I want you to do. And don't lose yourself in others. That's great advice. That's the first time we've heard that here on the Misfit Nation. And it's in the comments. You can copy it. You can paste it. You can put it on a t-shirt. Learn that and live it and take that to heart. Martinez, thank you for sharing all your knowledge tonight, your leadership knowledge, your journey, and where you're heading to.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. It was my pleasure.
Outstanding. Misfit Nation, make sure you look up Martinez on all his socials. We'll add the show in the show notes. We'll put his new show coming up soon, Straight with No Chasers. That's coming out soon. I believe it's going to be on his YouTube and other channels as well. But get on there, follow him like you follow us. Help another veteran rise up and help others. And remember, if you're starting to see that darkness, don't let those walls cave in. Reach out to someone else. Look in your wallet, that 1-inch piece of paper we tell you to write 3 names on. Call all 3 names. They want to hear from you. We want to hear from you because the day tomorrow is 100% better with you than it is without you. Call the people you love. Dial 988. If you don't want to do that, contact us here at the Misfit Nation. info@themisfitnation.com, jake@themisfitnation.com, or steven@themisfitnation.com. Any one of us will reach out to you. We'll call you and get someone else in your local area to come and get you until you are safe and we know you're safe, because tomorrow is much better with you. Until next time, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling. Good night, Misfit Nation.
Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the Misfit Nation Show. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. That's themisfitnation.com. Check out all our past episodes and get some of the great Misfit Nation gear for you and your family. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling, because we are Misfit Nation. Misfit Nation.